The Trump administration wants to utilize local law enforcement to help detain and process undocumented migrants as part of its immigration crackdown. CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Nicole Skanga spoke with sheriffs on both sides of the political aisle who shared concerns about staff shortages, funds, and lack of space to hold people.
My voice is getting out.
Inside a room of hundreds of sheriffs, President Trump's border czar offered this rallying cry to the nation's top elected law enforcement officials.
I know you want public safety threats out of your counties as much as I want them out of the country.
With ICE facilities now over capacity nationwide, officials are appealing to local law enforcement, an effort to more than double their detention beds.
And you've said you need 100,000 detention beds to get this done.
Minimum.
Leaving Tom Homan appealing for more among the overseers of the nation's local prisons and jails.
I hope you're all in. The sheriff's in the room. We need your bed space. We need your 287G agreements.
We sat down with 4 sheriffs from across the ideological and geographical United States for a reality check on the White House's ask.
At this point in time, do you have the detention space for someone who their only offense is being here illegally?
No, I do not. It's not as simple as just opening the door.
I've been overcrowded. I need a new jail. I need more space.
The only people I hold in my jail predominantly are those that are violent criminals, murder, rape, arson, and any form of domestic violence. I don't have not one single spare bed for anything else.
Top White House officials met this month to explore expanding the 287G program, a post-9/11 practice allowing local law enforcement to partner with ICE, joining task forces, helping to investigate and detain non-citizens.
You have 135 agreements right now. How many do you want by the end of the year?
We got 3,000 sheriffs. I want 3,000 agreements if we can get them. That's the goal.
But poor recruitment has also left sheriffs without deputies to spare as costs pile up.
I'm not being hurt, okay? I'm not being hurt.
In Brooks County, Texas, rough terrain and punishing heat left 129 migrants dead back in 2012.
944 square miles, and it's all rural.
Leaving behind a mass gravesite and $700,000 in debt.
And with that, there's a cost. You know, we had to lay off people. We had to cut down on our salaries.
The cost of identifying and burying migrants. The sparsely populated Texas county was never reimbursed by the federal government.
I worry about eroding the trust that I've spent over 4 years trying to build.
In Summit County, Ohio, Sheriff Candy Fothery hosts a growing refugee population from Asia and Africa and says now they're terrified.
When you knock on doors in your community, do you ask someone what their status is?
No, I don't.
When that 911 call comes in, we don't care what your status is.
No.
We spent years trying to build trust with these communities so that they know we don't care about your status. We want to make sure you have justice.
Are you concerned that the next 4 years are going to undermine that trust in law enforcement?
Absolutely. They're going to be terrified. Folks are saying, are you going to be coming for our family members?
Sheriffs tell us they've been failed by administration after administration, left picking up the pieces with no major bipartisan immigration reform passed by Congress since the Reagan administration.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. This should have been fixed by Congress. I can't put it on a Republican or a Democrat. I'm putting it on all of them.
Do your damn job. That's why we put you there. Get a spine.
I'll help because I believe in the rule of law. I believe in the Constitution.
When the White House is asking you to do even more, we need your personnel. We need your detention space.
Yes, that's a big ask by the White House. And I've told them, I'm standing ready, as the sheriffs across this country are standing ready. But it's going to take time, and it's going to take resources, and it's going to take money.
You're being asked to do more with less.
American sheriffs, we're doing everything that we can, but there's only so much that we can do.
We're doing the impossible with nothing.
Nicole Skanga joins us now. Nicole, just incredibly enlightening interviews there. And the sheriffs have expressed a willingness to work with the federal government, but told you they're under-resourced. So what does the White House have to say about that?
Well, I asked the White House border czar this exact question, and Tom Homan told me the White House will work with sheriff's offices nationwide on an individual basis, collaborating on task forces and detention space. And he argued that sheriffs in the White House have a common goal. They want to remove public safety threats from facilities. Homan vowed ICE will pay to train, oversee, and equip law enforcement on the ground. But there are some concerns and questions here. Namely, will sheriffs and their deputies be held legally liable? And in many states, there are actually limitations on how and if how long law enforcement can actually hold undocumented individuals. So like, for instance, Colorado law forbids local law enforcement from providing immigration information to federal authorities, and in most cases prohibits local jails from holding people at ICE's request. They also block arrests solely based on a resident's status. There are sheriffs in that state that will tell you they're not willing to break the law to follow this administration. Then there's the question of resources. Will this administration compensate sheriffs for their assistance? And lastly, that big question of trust within communities. How far are sheriffs and law enforcement willing to go in assisting federal agencies with immigration enforcement? At what point do sheriffs say, I can't participate in that operation? Most sheriffs will tell you they're willing to assist any federal law enforcement that has a federal arrest warrant. They're willing to assist if the target's a violent criminal. But if your only offense is being in the United States illegally, participating in that kind of ICE raid might undermine trust within certain communities. Because at the end of the day, they want their communities to report crimes, to approach sheriffs and deputies with information, and to live without fear, to feel safe going to church, to school, and the hospital.
It is a subject we have explored many times here on the Daily Report. Nicole Skanga, thank you so much.
Thank you.